Oh, all right. We are live. So excited to be live here on Lex 11, also with David, Pastor David, and Pastor Deborah. It's so hard to sometimes slip, so my bad. We want to honor y'all. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
We're doing great. We're doing great. Trying to stay warm. It's 20 degrees outside almost. So, Lord. But we're doing well. We're doing well. It's a Sunday. Just relaxing, resting.
Yeah.
But
So y'all ready for this madness?
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Are you ready for this madness?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Okay. Well, as ready as we'll ever be.
Right. No, we're excited to be here live. I guess we're going to check to make sure it's streaming across each background on both channels. We're going to pull up the comments because we know we love to see those comments as they pull in. So if you're coming in, make sure you hit that like button on the videos. Let us know. Uncle James is in the building. Uncle James is here looking for Mason. We were just talking about you too, bro. I told him that you were busy. So Pastor David, Pastor Deb, do we want to do introductions real quick?
Please.
So real quick, Mason, Uncle James wants you to say hello.
I knew it.
Hi, Mason.
Hey, buddy. Hi, Pastor David.
Hi to his uncle.
I was gonna say I came in here too because I heard you. As soon as I got out the shower, you're like, "We're just talking about you, Uncle James."
Yeah.
I was like, I just heard it.
Yeah, for sure. Where he says nephew, so he definitely see you and hear you. Yeah. So let's get into this live stream. Thank you so much, Mr. Mason.
You're welcome.
Well, real quick, and I know we streaming on your channel as well, so I guess we got to introduce ourselves to their audience and them to ours, even though, right? Can you help me?
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
All right, so real quick, Pastor David, Pastor Deb, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what people expect on your YouTube channel?
So we are nobodies trying to tell somebody about everybody. I don't know, that's not how it goes. But basically, my name is David. It's my wife, Deborah. I'm from Florida. She's a military baby. And the Lord just brought us together for his kingdom work. And you'll find out more about us as we go. That's really it. We love the Lord. We love being able to just equip, shine on them. Come on. But that's really it. We just really love God. We literally love relationships and marriage and being able to equip and help people.
Yeah. And I'm Deborah Hill. I'm his wife.
I like that.
I should say I'm from Texas because I've been here for like 14 years now. So, but yeah, we've been married for a little over 6 months now. So we're newlyweds. But it's been good. We're youth pastors at Rig DFW. That's where we met this lovely couple.
Yes.
And the moment we met them, we just knew this is it right here.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Pastor Dave, Pastor Dave, this is our turn. So you want to introduce ourselves to their audience? You want to start?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, so we're welcome to all of our new viewers. I'm Lex, and this is Lev. And our story is I am previously widowed, Lev is previously divorced, and we found hope and love again. And so we started our channel to just share our story, and it has evolved into a kingdom marriage prep ministry, basically. And we've are so grateful for our community. We're so grateful for all of you watching, and we are so grateful for Pastor David and Pastor Deb because they have been a blessing to us.
Yes.
And this live has been long overdue. We've been talking about it since last year. I can say that now.
Yeah.
Last year. And so I'm so glad we're able to do it now.
Yeah. And also we want to honor Pastor David and Pastor Deb because, man, you guys really inspired this.
Yeah.
We started doing it because we were going to do it, but you guys really put it. I remember one day after church, it was like y'all should really do it for Pastor David get excited. Like, no, for real. And I was like, you think so? He was like, man, I'm telling you. And I think that conversation really cemented for you and I, early on, and now we're here. So let's have a good time. Okay. Listen.
I mean, how are we? We got any limits, or we just going? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, we gotta have fun.
Okay.
So we got structure. We got structure, but we don't have to be. And we checking comments. So if y'all see us looking around, we checking comments. We want to make sure we keep everybody in the conversation. Thank you for those who joined, because we were supposed to go at 7, but life happens, right? Just to be real, life happens. So you have to be in life, and then we wanted to come on, but not rush just to jump on. So we're here tonight. So before, do you want to just go straight into it?
Yeah. So we've been having a conversation here on our channel just about kingdom spouses, kingdom marriage, and we were on vacation in Vegas during Christmas, and that was the topic around actually meeting people kept coming up.
Yes.
And how does someone that is seeking a kingdom marriage or kingdom relationship, where do they meet someone? And so that's what we're talking about today. And we wanted to kick it off with the mindset, because when we were having these conversations, we were really, I don't want to speak for Lev. I was very much taken aback by how often I would hear, I really want to meet someone, but in the next breath, I don't leave my house. Like, I don't go out. I just go to work, to church, and home, and that's it. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard that, Pastor Dave, Pastor Deborah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to jump in, I think so many people make excuses for themselves. Now, granted, being
on a jugular early, he's like, I'm ready. Like, oh yeah, excuses. Come on.
Like, I definitely get discerning the time, because you don't want to put yourself in disappointment. You don't want to be jumping out there and God didn't send you, but like, hey, what I'm saying? I say, as we're talking about where are the places that we should go. I'm not trying to be spiritual, but I would say this: be like in the secret place, right? Because when you're in the secret place, you're gonna get the downloads. You're gonna get like, hey, I need to go to this conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, she went to that conference. I was there minding my business. Bam, man, it just happened. So it's just like, just go. If God doesn't give you any checks like that, you're not supposed to be dating. You're not supposed to be going. Dress yourself up, even if you're going to the mailbox. You know what I'm saying? You just never know.
Put on a little mascara.
Pumping your gas. Act like something's happening with the car.
Gloss.
Yeah, just
That man said, act like something wrong with the car.
Something wrong with the car. You need an oil change at the gas station.
Sir.
Yeah. But what do you say, Pastor Deb, from like the mindset of people who, like you said, whether it's excuse or legit fear or legit trauma or just like something that really impacted them because essentially something happened. Rejection.
That one we heard a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I've been rejected a lot, or I don't want to be rejected, so I don't go out. Like,
or I've been really hurt. Like, especially when we heard it, in the past couple of weeks. It is that, but it's also I was once married and it didn't work out. I got dogged out, and so I want to talk about like the mindset around that, because in order for people to get over the hump, they got to get over the thoughts that's attached to it. So for me, I love to not tackle it head on, but like, what happened to you?
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, not what's wrong with you. Like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you just get out? You know what I mean? Because that's funny in itself. But what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to you? Like you said, it may be something where it's a legit fear of their surroundings. They may have, they just don't get out. So everything is scary. What do you guys say to someone whose mindset is really getting in the way of them getting in position to be found? Let's say it's a lady, and then we'll talk about the guys, because I think for guys it's kind of different, right? So what are you guys' thoughts on the mindset of it?
I think I can speak to that a little bit, because when he found me, and that's the thing though, the man's supposed to find the woman. The Bible does say he that finds a wife finds a good thing. So at the time I had all of these things going on in my mind. I personally didn't think I was ready to have someone yet. I personally didn't think I was ready. So I prayed very specific prayers. I said, God, when you think I'm ready, send him. Because I didn't trust when I thought I would be ready, because every time I thought I was ready, it was an absolute disaster. So I was like, you know what, God, when you know I'm ready, that's when you will send him. Because my mindset before was kind of like, I had experienced like in previous like relationships, or attempted, because technically like even leading up to like I never had a boyfriend like my whole life.
Didn't know that.
So all these attempted relationships that I found myself in, it was almost like I had to move past those things in order to let the right one in. I had to push past the clutter, the cloudiness. I had to push past the past, let the past go, deal with the past. Because if I didn't deal with the past, I would have missed him completely. And that's the thing, when we don't deal with things in our past, when we don't deal with things even in our present, we miss it. We completely miss it, and that, that just comes with dealing with those mindsets now. Deal with it now. Don't wait until the relationship comes. Oh, this person will make me better. Like, no, that person deserves a whole you. Like, deal with the mindsets that you have now from past trauma. Deal with the trauma. Deal with the past. Maybe you experienced abuse, whatever it is. Let the Father in and let him mold and shape your mindset, so that way when your spouse comes along, it's like two healthy mindsets coming together, and you're working together and not against each other.
Yeah. So Pastor David came just wielding the sword, just came through like excuses, and you just snatching edges. Like she said, your whole self.
Yeah, that this person deserves like a whole you. That was so powerful.
That was a word.
It was.
That was a word.
Because I think a lot of people do think like, it's okay for me to confine myself. Like that's permissible. And to a certain degree it is. Like, don't be out there bleeding on other people. But also, it's kind of a warped mindset to think that you could be in this reclusiveness and then at the same time be ready to enter into this relationship that's supposed to magically appear. And I say that with some sugar, because I know that for some that can be hard to hear.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that there's a season and a time for everything. So it's like, okay, if you are in a position where there is some healing that needs to be done, there's some growth that needs to happen, cool. We're here. All of us are here to help facilitate that. But if you are in a place where the Lord has given you the green light to go out and meet someone, then we got to deal with whatever's coming up there too, so that you're in that alignment and in that place to do. There's two tracks here.
Yeah, and I think what's really important to connect what you guys are both saying is that understand where are you in the process.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where are you in the process of finding a kingdom spouse? And one thing that I love about you guys' story, which again we're not going to dive into here today, if you want to know more about Pastor David and Pastor Deborah, go subscribe to their channel, go watch their videos, find out more about them, and make sure, pause for the cause. Y'all know what I'm about to ask y'all. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Quit playing with me. Like the video for your boy one good time. If you're new to our channel, you're new to Pastor David and Pastor Deborah, listen, hit the like button, Cuddy. You know what I'm saying? Help us get more people watching. Help YouTube bring the people in one good time. So back to the conversation. When we connect knowing where you are in the process, I think it helps navigate how you show up in the process. Because here's the thing. Sometimes God may bring your kingdom spouse and you may not be in the receiving phase.
Mm.
You may be in the rebuilding or the renew phase. That doesn't mean jump into the relationship, right? We believe jump into the relationship when you get to the receiving phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
So know that there's work to be done. And it's so interesting. And I'll say this because I've been looking through a lot of our comments. I went through over almost 200-300 comments in the past couple of days. Thank you for all our new cousins. Thank you for everybody that's connecting with Pastor David and Pastor Deb. But here's this. I keep seeing a common theme where people are desiring and they want to find their kingdom spouse, but they're not positioning themselves based on where they are in the process. Yeah. Like people don't know that it's a process is what I'm getting to. You have to know where are you before you can show up in the location or the proximity to be found. Because Eve was presented to Adam. Come on, man. Y'all, why are you playing with me?
Y'all jumped into the Bible study. Come on now, open the word now.
Because that's why we talk about kingdom, right? And I always tell people kingdom started in the garden, not Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So when we think about, man, I want to where to be found, mindset, where are you? Jesus said, Adam, where art thou? He knew where he was, but he wanted Adam to see where you at.
Mm-hmm.
You know where you are. Because you out of covenant, bruh. You out of the picture. So I just want to kind of add that piece to connecting with Deb shared on mindset. Anything that I miss?
No, but I think that's a good segue into the next part. And I think Pastor David we were having a conversation, I think it was at the wedding that we were at a couple days ago. And Pastor David was like, if people would just mind their business.
She told me about that. I laughed.
Mind the business that pays you. Now that's a worldly phrase, but the point is, it was a joke about purpose. Mm-hmm. It's being in your purpose.
Yeah.
And I wanna hang out there for a little bit because this title and this idea and this construct, this concept of purpose, I think has been really dismantled in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. And as kingdom citizens, I think sometimes we don't understand what that means either. Mm-hmm. And so I wanna hang out there and kick it back to Pastor David and Pastor Deb mm-hmm. to shed some light on what their thoughts are around that and how individual purpose is connected to mm-hmm. kingdom and marriage purpose.
Awesome. That is absolutely great question. So much to say about it. Mm-hmm. I'll say this. I would say this, like, this question or topic that you're proposing here speaks so much to how even God brought us together. We were she was minding her business, loving God, doing what she was supposed to do. She lived in Texas, found herself at a conference gathering in Orlando. I was in Orlando, just playing the drums, serving God, worshiping God in serving in a women's mentorship. Let's picture this for a second. 1,500 women, right, in a room. They love God, worshiping, and it's only 5 guys in there, and I'm one of them. I was minding my business, although I wanted marriage, although I just felt that coming. I obeyed God. I was literally playing the drums, and bam, there she go. So it's like I was literally minding my business. And one thing my mom always shared with me was like, when you are lost in your purpose, you can expect that as it's your time, God will send your person. Mm-hmm. I found myself, or many of you may find yourself in this place where you're plateauing, you're tapping out. You're tapping out because when the scalp gets to itching, that's crazy. That distracted.
Pastor David. They said slim pickings, but God.
Right.
That's a
Or
hard.
in your case, there was an overwhelming
Choices.
Look at it.
I mean, I'm just saying, 1,500 women and 5 guys.
5 guys.
And I mean,
300 women per.
The way that my ADHD be ADHDing, I would have been like, I can't.
Yeah. I had to reel it back in many moments.
Right.
Okay, she's married. She need low work. You feeling stuff. You feeling spirits. You just, you know what I'm saying? So,
right. It's too much.
I told you we were gonna cut up. I knew we were gonna cut up.
You feeling stuff. So
Right.
it's just to go back to what you're saying, like, and and I can share this too, like, get lost in your purpose. Mind your business. Don't worry about being married so much, because I was that person. I made marriage an idol. I made the promise an idol, and I lost track. I lost suit of purpose. And when you get distracted, you find yourself at the counterfeit. You find yourself disobeying God. You find yourself disappointed because, like, to go back to the garden, there was priorities that were set.
Come on.
Yes.
When your priorities are set, like, God will just add. God will piece it together, and just be where you're supposed to be. Have your vision, and that's why it's so important for men. And people take for granted singlehood. This is the most important time of your life. I know it's hard, it's challenging, but so is being, with someone all the time. You can't use the bathroom by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just, so enjoy your singlehood. But
I said, what? Hold on, time out. You can't do what?
No, I'm just saying.
No, and I know you're not talking.
Hold on, time out. What you mean? What you mean? Hold on. What you talking about? What? You feel like you can't get through nothing by yourself? Is that what you're saying? No, we here now. We here now.
Behind the door.
You open up that door. We here. We here. You
Listen.
feel like you can't go through nothing? You know what? Okay. All right. I'll be quiet. Be quiet. We married. What you talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Back to you, Pastor David.
Oh yeah. But yes, purpose. Oh, I was gonna say this about singlehood and vision, like, like you, Alexis, Alexis, you mentioned, like, how individual purpose plays and ties together with, kingdom marriage and purpose and all of that. Like, and so talking about singlehood, what you should be doing, how you should be preparing, it's important. Like, I'll put it this way. By the time we sat down for the first time, I had vision. Like, if she was to ask me, hey, what she did, what are we doing? Why me? Why you pursuing me? And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is just what it is. This is what God said. And to be specific in your prayer, like, you journaling, preparing, writing vision. And so that, one of the things that'll help, coming together individually, together, you will see how things mesh. My vision didn't go west and hers didn't go east. It literally met at the intersection. It's like, you just know, it just complemented. Even the prayers, the requests, they were very specific, and so that just timing your purpose, seeking God, like, it's imperative. And when you get lost in the presence of God and seeking your purpose, the time doesn't seem that long. But when you're sitting there doing nothing, God, the spouse here today. No, Amazon's a little delayed. Like, we didn't, like, just do what you're supposed to do. And that 3 years is gonna feel like, man, it was only, and I'm sure you all can attest to, like, wait, it's a year. Our lives feel like, we talk about stuff like, we're here in this place, we're doing this. It's like, it sounds like this happened 5 years ago, and it's not even a year. That was because of just laying things before God, being in purpose, and He'll speed up the time. And then next thing you know, it's like, am I even ready? And it's like, hey, you've been praying and you've been fasting. I gave you the answer. I gave you the person And you're gonna
man, there's so many stages to this.
So much.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Pastor Deb, if I may, and then to you, as a wife. Like when we talk about purpose from a female's perspective, right? Pastor Ronnie came on one of our live streams, and he was talking about telling the ladies, be careful what garden you enter into, right? Yeah. You may be entering the wrong garden, meaning the guy is supposed to be operating in his garden, in his purpose. And as a woman, you may see like, is this the guy I want to be with? Right. So I'm asking from a woman's perspective, starting with you, Pastor Deb, and then to my wife, is like, what are some of the things that women should be looking for from a purpose perspective from a kingdom from a kingdom husband, saying like, man, this is how I know he's tending to his garden. This is what it looks like, from that perspective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So,
I'm sure the answer, I'll get it.
But like I mentioned before, I had very specific prayers because next to salvation, marriage is the most important decision you will ever make in your life, because it's a covenant. We not only have a covenant with God, but we have a covenant with our spouses, and that all merges and comes together. It's full circle. So some things that I was looking for was, I know it's like Christianity 101. Is he saved? For real, for real. Because I feel like a lot of the times men can present themselves a certain way, and then you get with, or women, it's not just men, or women, someone can present themselves a certain way, and then you get a relationship with them, and it's almost like, who is this person? I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So are they saved for real? Do they have a prayer life? Do they serve? Are they planted anywhere? Do they have accountability? Who is around them? Who's surrounding them? What voices are in their life? How does he treat his mom? I know that sounds like something so minute, but that's something that I was looking. I was like, okay, how does he treat his mom? How does he treat the people around him? Does he love people well? How does he treat his leaders? Just like different things like that. How does he treat finances, his money? Does he have vision? All of those things, because by God's grace, that's something that was instilled in me at a very young age, was kingdom principles. And that was something I prayed for to have in a man. I said, I need someone that knows the things of the kingdom, that has kingdom principles. And when I found that in him, that's when I knew it was him. Not only that, but there were just very specific things that God had answered, just like in conversation when talking to him. Like for really quick, for instance, when we were talking about kids or whatever, I still have the adoption cards that I got like 3, almost 4 years ago. And I asked him, I was like, how many kids do you want? He was like, he didn't know my answer at this point. But I asked him, I was like, how many kids do you want? He's like, I want 2 and I want to adopt 1. That was very specific, because I said, I want 2 and I want to adopt 1. I told God that years ago. Wow. So just like very specific things. So that's when you're praying for your kingdom spouse, you need to get specific. I'm not talking about writing out just like this huge unrealistic list. Yeah. Get rid of the unrealistic list right now. Like, get rid of yes, because you're about to get disappointed with unrealistic expectations that you've held. And that's possibly why you're still single. Like, get rid of it now. Let God lead you. Spirit. That's why you're still single. You will see him, and you won't see him in the natural. You'll see him in the spirit. Because I'm telling you, if you have your spiritual eyes on, you will see past what's in front of you. You will see past everything, and you will see into the future. I'm telling you right now.
Man.
Wow.
Listen, they said no more 6 packs and 6 figures.
Right.
Hey, somebody said I got to go down to the 5s now. 5 feet, 5 figures, and a 5-pack. So, babe, same question to you. As a kingdom woman, what are some of the things or some of the traits they should be looking for when it comes to seeing, is he paying attention to his garden purpose? Like, is he in his purpose? Like, is he in his purpose, and is he in the purpose that you want to come alongside and be a part? So she, talked about specific prayer and some of the things from her perspective and her experience. So for you to help the ladies out, what are your thoughts?
I feel like I still don't understand the question.
Okay, if you're a woman and you see a guy that you like, man, I think it might be something, right? What should they be looking for when it comes to purpose?
Okay, stop there, because I think I got lost with all of the redirects. So, Pastor Dev, I think that you did a beautiful job and a complete job in describing him, the man, like kingdom principles, kingdom ideology, just his identity as a man. So I don't feel like I need to go into that because she did a great job with that. I think the and to that, or what I would add to that, is when you look directly at the purpose piece, is his purpose complementary to mine?
Yeah.
And I think when I was dating outside of kingdom principle, it didn't really matter to me. Like, you have your thing, I have my thing, so what? Like, we just do our own thing. And it never really occurred to me that when you're talking about being kingdom citizens and you talk about wanting to build a marriage that glorifies God, how does what you do and what I do, how do the two complement each other so they reflect heaven?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
And so that's a whole nother set of questions to start asking.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you do accounting and I am a painter. Sure. Like, how are these two things going to work together? Do they work together? I'm sure they can.
Yeah.
Anything can. But I do think that God is so intentional and he's such a magnificent orchestrator that when that ordained person comes along, it's going to fit, it's going to make sense. Like, I can't tell you enough for y'all that are watching, being able to watch Pastor David and Pastor Deb lead worship every Sunday. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Like, every now and then I'll catch Pastor David watching Pastor Deb, or vice versa. And it's beautiful to see. Yes. He plays drums, she sings.
Yeah.
And you see how these two things coincide. I think for us, it's the creative piece. Like, Lev is into the marketing, into the just the digital strategy of it. I'm a comm strategist. Like, all of these things, you guys see Lex and Lev, but there's a lot of planning and strategy that goes on in the background. And that is something that Lev and I complement each other on. And that's why we're able to present the platform in a way that you all can receive. So I say all that to say, as a woman, when we are being presented someone or presented in front of someone, that's something to consider. Is this person's purpose one that aligns with mine? And do they want to align it with mine, and vice versa?
Yeah.
Because that could be another thing too, where it's like, I'm not interested in collaborating with you. I'm not interested in sharing my space with you. It's like, sis, that's a red flag.
Listen. But I think, I was just gonna say from us, you were coaching, I was still coaching at the time, and I was like, yo, let me help, because I helped at that time, was helping coaches get clients and do all that. But we was just not there yet.
Yeah.
We were dating, but it just didn't come together. And it wasn't until now where we got that one question: why are you married? Like, what's the purpose of being married? Like, until you answer that, and then before you even get married, what's the purpose? What's the goal of? Let me pause there because I feel it. What's the goal of your singleness? what's the goal of dating? Like when you date someone, obviously the goal is to get married. So you go through the process. But outside of that, take that off the table. What do you want to gain from that? And I think this is key when you tie purpose even to the singleness and even to the dating phase. Because if you put a purpose to the dating phase, you can say, listen, I'm just going to date. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to meet new people. It's not like I'm just going to find one size shoe and it's going to fit all. I'm going to meet people and try to, and what my wife shared, how this conversation came up with some folks a couple of weeks ago is like, hey, you want to get out and start dating different people, even if it's not the person God showed you who to be with. Now, here's key, because here's the thing. Dating those other people, based on my wife said in that conversation, it will reveal some things in you to prepare you for the one that you saw in the vision. Get out and still date. There's nothing wrong with a coffee date. It's nothing wrong. I didn't say you got to go, bring her
for the holidays.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do that, but it can help bring some things to the forefront to prepare you for the one that God is trying to bring together.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, there's purpose when you think about marriage, because that's basically what Pastor Deb and my wife was just sharing. But I think there's a purpose even in the dating. Like, what do you want to get out of the dating?
Yeah.
And the singleness piece. I love that. Like,
important.
I'll say, as you share that, I've never heard anyone share, what are your goals in singleness? That is like, bam, like life changing.
Like, oh snap! I was so focused on getting a man or woman, I forgot I still need to prepare.
And then that's how people, when you neglect the single, now you don't even know how to be with someone. You're not showing up whole. And whole doesn't mean perfect, but there's a place that we can
content.
Be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because hey, God, one of the purposes of you all coming together, is to bring healing or breakthrough, to each other. There are areas that person is graced for, and vice versa. And that's another way that purpose coincides.
Sure. Yeah, I remember when I first, because we talk about our stuff all the time. When I first got married, one of the goals as a single man, I was like, I'm about to be in shape. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in shape. And man, I was working out. Man, I lost weight. I was down to a medium shirt. Pastor Day. Now, it was tight. It was a tight medium. Now it wasn't no like medium go out in public. Now it was a tight go to the gym. It was a medium. Large in public, but medium at the gym. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to show up a pec. You're trying to, that was one of my goals.
It was a large.
You know what I'm saying? I was doing the most. I was doing the most at that moment. But I want to kind of transition, right? Because we got a lot of comments. If you have any questions, we will have Q&A later on. But listen, again, for those who just joined it, hit that like button. Quit playing with us.
He's a stickler for that.
I am a stick. Hit the like. We got 72 people in here. Whoever that last person, where did you go? Hit that like button and join in on the fun. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, whether you're tuning in from Pastor David and Pastor Deb's channel, David and Deborah, or from here in Lex and Lev. We want to thank you so much. And again, don't be scared to subscribe to their channel, subscribe to ours. We family. There's more than enough information and in YouTube-ness to go around for everybody. So please subscribe to both channels. Hit that like button. I want to transition into the topic even more at hand, where to meet kingdom spouses. Now,
this is what everybody came here for.
This is what everybody came here for.
So let's get into it.
So let's just take church off the table. Can we just take church off the table? Is that safe to say? Because everybody, find a kingdom spot, find them in church. And when we hear ladies talk, the fellas ain't at church.
Right.
Right? That's what the ladies say. Now, thankful for at our church, the brothers be up in there.
Right.
The brothers be up at Rig DMW. I'll be like, okay, bro, I see it. And they be showing up. And it's love in there.
They're saying they're not there.
Yeah, they're not at church. See? So we're going to take church off. So I want to ask this question.
Now, that's not to say you can't meet someone at church. We're just taking the obvious option off the table.
Sure. And I want to take another option off the table because if you know our story, you already know events. If you know Pastor David, Pastor Deborah's story, events or retreat or conferences. We can kind of leave conferences and retreats and stuff on.
I think events should
stay on.
Yeah.
Okay. Events stay on. But I'm just saying, like, we met there, so that's kind of I guess, a good place to start. Right? But I think what's key about events, obviously, if you both show up there, there's some commonality.
Right.
There's some
it's
common
like
ground.
Given.
It's a given. Like, okay, you went to work. I think you guys are at a worship conference, right?
Yes.
We were at a retreat.
At a retreat. We was at a singles retreat. So look at the retreats we go. Somebody said my church community is elderly and or married. In the club, we ain't bad. Y'all cutting up in these comments. In the club, we ain't family. I see. Oh, they ready. They ready for this Q. I see y'all cutting up today.
What's worse and Wally?
Man. So are y'all seeing comments from y'all channel, or y'all seeing all of it mixed together?
I think all of them mixed together.
Okay, all of it mixed together. Cool.
Off the table.
Yes. So
Someone said, I don't know what's worse in Wally World, the men or the produce. Wow,
touche.
I mean, like no edges. Like, I mean, just
that produce is awful.
Man. But if we ever do a brand deal, we love it. We love it.
Right.
We ain't knocking it. You know what I'm saying? We just go to the other side of the store. Okay. We love the store. We got to go to the grocery store. Trust.
Kroger.
What about your favorite place?
Tom Thumb.
No.
Well, Publix.
Everybody don't know about Publix though. Everybody needs 786 though. You know what I'm saying?
Pastor Day, I've been trying to tell them Publix is the superb grocery store. Like, it is the pinnacle of grocery stores.
Yeah.
And everybody else just needs to take notes. I'm sorry.
So Whole Foods don't outdo Publix?
No, not even a little bit.
That's no Whole Foods.
No.
I can't get past the smell of Whole Foods. Like,
thank you. You walk in there, it smells like a botanica. Like, no.
Thank you, Pastor Deb.
Thank you,
Pastor Deb.
Where shopping is a pleasure. Exactly. And everybody knows that. It's their slogan, and everybody knows. Babe, don't front though, because when you went, you was slamming on that ultimate sub.
You gotta put me up like that.
I'm just saying.
You gotta get on the Publix chicken and Hawaiian rolls. Change your life.
Pastor Deb.
I'll take a Publix birthday cake any day of the week.
I'm out here dangled. I'm just gonna, But no, first and foremost, I do think grocery store is a great place to go because you can actually judge people without judging. You can judge people without judging them at the grocery store.
Like crazy.
You got
hot
Fritos and 16 packs of Diet Coke. We don't have to have a conversation.
I mean, and if your produce look whack, like you don't know how to pick produce.
Or you just don't have any produce. We don't need to have a conversation.
No, but that's so true though. You can tell even if someone's single by what they get at the grocery store.
Oh, what?
I'm like, okay, I know he's single. He getting that. Okay, I
mean, but I'm just saying.
Long time.
The basket will tell on you.
Touche said, I'm always in people.
Y'all cutting up in the comments. Listen, Tom Thumb is not a bad spot. Thank you.
I think it's a close runner-up to Publix.
Listen, if my preferred, I love Kroger. I'm a Kroger guy. Super, but it got to be a super though. It can't be a regular one.
Okay.
How you get that face like it was Walmart or something?
I mean,
what about Sprouts? Central Market. All right. Number one on the list. Number one on the list, grocery store. Because again, you can judge people without judging. You can get to know a lot about.
We look
and we judge.
I'll say this about the grocery store. It's not that like kind of mind your business purpose piece, but if you're just literally going to shop, you are literally minding your business, and then you never know, you might bump into Joe, you know what I'm saying, while you looking at the you've gotten your groceries already in Kroger, but now you're looking in the clothes area. I don't, what I'm saying, you're just picking up a shirt and then bam, there he goes, as he was on his way to the vitamins, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh God, have I seen you somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You want to happy birthday, David?
He's smooth with it.
He's smooth. I mean, you was
That's another video. What does game or
what pickup lines?
You know, and that's because of people. And she said this too. I think she said this before. A lot of people in the church don't know how to date. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we've been doing so much worldly stuff. So what does, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you see woman of God, you know, immediately let your gift of the Spirit, let your discernment, you know, let
it elevate. Bring it up a little bit. Woman of God, why are you coming at me like that? Why are you coming at me like that? That should be your response, ladies. If a man hits you, woman of God, and he started putting his hands like this, and he started like rubbing his knuckles. If a man run, or if you brave and you got a good left jab, right hook, just be like, why are you coming at me? Who sent you?
Right.
Who sent you?
Get behind me.
You know what I'm saying? What kingdom are you from? So hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. So number one, we got grocery store and events. Or number one, events. Number two, grocery store. Where else can people find their kingdom spouses? Like place.
I think some popular ones are when people travel. There's so many people. The airport, on the plane, like, especially
I heard that.
Like, I kid you not. Personally, a lot of my friends that I know, they've met someone while they were traveling somewhere else. I met him while I was traveling somewhere else.
We were traveling.
The number one place that people are starting to find their spouses is when they travel.
I think you least expect it. I think
I'm sorry to cut y'all off, but they cut up in the comments. They cutting up.
That was funny.
Touche, you cutting up, man. That is funny. So you said traveling, or are you saying specifically airports, or just like?
No, just traveling. Just literally traveling.
Because Lamont put cruises and R&D put the gym.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's pause on the gym really quick because we're gonna go back to that.
Let's touch on that a little bit.
Right. But I want to go back to traveling, and I'm having a thought as to why traveling is why people find so much success in that.
Yeah.
If you think about it, especially if you're doing solo travel. I want people to pause and think, what is everything that has to go into making the decision to travel solo? Because we were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, prior to meeting Lev, I was going on solo dates in Denver. This is when I was living in Denver. So I would get dressed, do my makeup, drop off Mason to my cousin, and I was going to the steakhouse. I was going to STK. I was going to Morton's. I was doing all the stuff that I would have wanted to do with a man, I was doing by myself. And in that time, like, there were things that would come up. I would be in prayer. I would be enjoying myself. And when the retreat came up, I didn't have a second thought of going by myself because I had already been doing that. So when you think about someone making a choice to do solo travel, it's not just, I'm just going to wake up on a whim and just go, although some people do that. But I'm in a place where I'm ready to go out and be content with where I am right here, right now, and pursue my contentment in a way that makes me happy, like makes me genuinely happy. And I think when you put yourself in that kind of environment, you begin to attract things to yourself, attract people to yourself. Yeah. And then that's what what's that?
Good and bad.
Well, yeah.
But
so you gotta be
the quality of
yeah.
person. But I think it's something to be said about the travel. I think we may need to like revisit that because there's something there about someone who's willing to, like you said, travel by themselves or go somewhere, get on a plane or a cruise and be by themselves, or you meet. Like, it's something there. I don't know what.
Right.
It's something there because, hey, if you can pass TSA, you okay. You know what I'm saying? If you can pass TSA.
Do you have pre-check?
Do you have, like, see what line they in? Are they in clear? Are they in a pre-check line? Judge, It's okay to judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
We do it anyway.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I listened to somebody who told me they have never left the state of Texas. Never left the state of Texas. Now, Texas is pretty big, so that doesn't mean they haven't been somewhere outside of their city. They've left the city, but they've never left their state. And I think if someone is willing to get on a plane or a train or a cruise, man, this person has been exposed.
Right.
You want somebody that got some flavor. You know, somebody said everybody ain't got STK money. I just throw it out there.
Guys, I'm just saying places that I like to go. Yeah. You don't have to go to STK.
Yeah, and I think for men, because someone asked, do men really travel? I think men do when it's like typically work related or something like that. I don't know too many guys who are like, I'm about to just get up and go somewhere and just be gone. Like I do. I mean, you married, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know many single men. I don't know many single guys unless they flying themselves out.
Yeah,
they getting flued out. You know what I'm saying? They getting flued out. So I don't know how to. Is STK expensive?
It can be pricey. It can be depending.
You're taking that check, going out there doing some damage.
Yes.
I mean, I was by myself, so it's okay.
It's all good. So we got events, grocery store, travel,
and now the gym.
Now
let's talk about this, please.
Well, before we get to the gym, is there any other like easy to locate? Because some people say going for walks. They say at parks they find people. Like, is there any other like
the mall?
The mall, yes. We can't forget the mall. Shopping is big.
It's a good one though, slightly. Me too, but it's a little different. Which mall are we talking?
That part.
See, that's a totally different. Are we talking North Park or are we talking Galleria? Like which?
But now, it depends on your. It depends on your style, what you feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Do they got Louis Vuitton there? Do they got Yves Saint Laurent? Like, what does the mall have? I'm judging you if you told me, and no shade. I'm really not judging, but I am. If you said I would rather find somebody at the Mesquite Mall versus North Park,
I'm side-eyeing you. If you talk about Mesquite Mall, I'm side-eyeing you. I'm
just saying, like, if you talking about going to a mall like back home in Flint where they got one store open, that's it. Like. You're not finding nobody there. You trying to find a job or you stealing? I'm just saying. I'm just joking. I'm joking. People back home, y'all know.
Dubai Mall?
Like, I'm just saying, like, if the mall depends and what store you coming out of, and do you got bags?
I'm gonna say what Mason says. He says, "Don't yuck my yum," and I think when it comes to the malls, it really is a personal preference.
Yeah,
me. I don't like to go to Town East.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe someone has a Town East personality and they want to go there. I would prefer North Park,
Allen,
something like that. So I wanna tread lightly because I don't want to yuck somebody's yum.
You got something at the outlet.
Yeah,
Park Neiman's and North.
Right.
That's showing taste. That's
right.
Showing, you know what I'm saying?
That's what you can judge.
I mean,
you can judge. Listen, it's so funny. James back home talking about don't judge us. Genesee Valley, come on. I bet not see nobody there. Then they said that there's a large solo cruise community of both men and women. So that's interesting. So if you like to be on water, if you know how to swim, and it's okay with the cruise, let's jump in there. So let's come up with 3 more before we get to the gym.
Yeah.
I think when we get to
why are you postponing the gym?
I feel like I got it. Well, let's do it. Because she don't be holding me back. I ain't gonna hold you back. I feel like you about to go in, and I saw Pastor Deb's face when you said gym too.
I want to hear Pastor Deb first.
So Pastor Deb, we're gonna toss it to you first. Gym or no gym? Does it make the list where people should find their kingdom spots?
I would personally not recommend the gym, and here's why.
Get out your flesh.
No, here's why. Here's why. The gym, predominantly, I'm not saying this is everyone, because not everyone goes into the gym full of ego, trying to be seen. But predominantly, the population that goes to the gym, they want to be seen. That's why you got women in there half naked, working out with makeup on. And I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you, ma'am? What are you doing? With a whole full face. And I'm just like, okay, I see why you're in here today. You didn't come in here to work out, ma'am. Yeah. You didn't come here to work out. But I personally, I wouldn't recommend the gym. I wouldn't recommend it. Recommend it. There's just too many egos in there. I just wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. I want to hear you. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Does the gym make your list of where people should find their kingdom spouse or can find?
I mean, okay, guys, because I'm watching the comments. Let me say this: we're just having fun. First of all, like I'm hoping no one's taking this super serious.
Yeah,
please, we're not taking this super serious. With that being said, when it comes to the gym, can you meet someone there? Of course, you can meet someone in any of the places that we're talking about.
Sure.
But I think both Pastor Deb and Pastor David hit the nail on the head. Most of the time when people are at the gym, yes, they're there to work out, but they're there to be seen.
Hidden motive.
Right. And then you have the fleshly component. Like outside of the gym, in what world would I want someone coming up to me and I've got sweat running down my face? I've got sweat stains on my clothes, on my crack. Like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't want to have a conversation. And I'm gross. Yeah. I'm dirty. I stink. Like, I don't want to have a conversation. So for someone to decide to approach, I would say most of the time there is a fleshly kind of like we're moving on flesh right now.
Yeah. Right.
And so I just, unless there's a strong discernment there that says real strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
That says this person has good intentions, good motives. I'm not trying to have a conversation. Like, I really don't know people that don't work out with like headphones and stuff. And to me, headphones is the universal DND. Like, don't talk to me when I have headphones on.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just, it's a one boundary crossing over the other to get to the point where now we're having a conversation at the gym. And where is it really going? But
I'm gonna,
can it happen? Sure.
Can I jump in and say this then? I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Oh, gosh.
And here's why, though. Because I know of a couple back home. They are, I don't want to
James, I see that. I'm not
See, that's why I love James, man. He keeping it real. I do feel like the gym is a harder place to find your kingdom spouse. But I do think kingdom people work out. Right, there are some people who legit are into fitness and they're gym rats, quote unquote. And I do think if you're a gym rat and you want to be with someone that is a gym rat, because I think if you're into fitness, it's hard to be with someone who's not. Yeah. Rarely do you see like someone who's serious about it. You know what I mean? That's not willing to go and be a part of it at minimum. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's rare that you see one spouse like go super hard and the other spouse who let themselves go. That's, I'm just going to say that. But I'm thinking if that's your purpose, right? If that's what you're into, you could possibly find someone. But I do think once we get past the hygiene, once we get past the sweatiness and all that, it's possible is all I'm saying. And I do think, again, let's judge certain facilities determine certain quality of people. And the reason why I say that, if your gym costs you $1,000 a month to be a part of, I think it's a different caliber of person.
Yeah. You might have time to stop and actually talk, you know, but I mean, I don't see nobody walk out of Planet Fitness slow. I mean, and to add to your point, like, I feel like the gym is like, you got to come with your elevator pitch. Like, you got 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Because they probably on lunch break. They probably D&D, you know what I'm saying? You got to come with it. And I feel like the gym is naturally where the guard goes up because people
Yeah.
know they going with their flesh. People know how guys can be, you know what I'm saying, or women.
Mm-hmm.
So gym.
Yeah. I think, but it's interesting though, because what about like the in the park workout class or
I was just gonna say that.
Dance classes? Like we were telling a friend of ours, like you need to sign up for
Oh
salsa classes.
yeah, for sure.
Like it's I see some stuff going on in the chat, and again, I just want to apologize if anyone felt offended by the gym commentary. It's not, we're not judging anyone that goes to the gym.
I need to be in the gym. I'm gonna speak about me.
I think that the four of us are just speaking from our experiences, but in no means is it meant to label anyone that goes to the gym.
Yeah.
But I think I have made friends going to like salsa classes, going to salsa events, like salsa conventions. And also just like, I remember when I did live in Miami, there were like workout classes that were happening on the beach. I don't know. It's just a different environment, a different atmosphere outside of, I don't know what it is about gyms, but it's something about being outside of that and being in a different environment. Like, I think there's a way to meet someone doing active things. It just depends on what your personal preference is.
Yes. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're into that type of activity, and that other person could be. So, so we got events, grocery store. What else did we say?
Traveling.
Cruising.
Maybe.
We said the gym, possibly.
Yeah.
What else?
Like extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
So
I want to ask y'all this though: can you find your kingdom spouse on the job?
Yes.
Wow, she answered
that.
I mean,
yes. Really?
At work.
Yeah.
Very rare, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause see, I can be a stickler about certain things.
Sure.
And I just don't like mixing work with, like, I don't like, where's that saying, like, don't do something where you eat?
Don't go to the water.
And I just, to me, I'm a very private person too. So I'm like, I wouldn't want to be involved with someone at work and then people are asking questions and
You wouldn't want to be involved with me at work?
If I would have met you in the workplace, it would have been very challenging for you.
Wow.
I say yes.
Right. Thank you, Living Proof. She said it.
I've seen it happen. For instance, one of my friends, she's a dancer and that is her profession. She met her husband. He's also a dancer. So it just depends what. Yeah. And that was her purpose. She was doing what she was called and purposed to do. And that's how she met him. They danced together all the time and they ended up getting married. So it's just one of those things to where like, don't major on the minor. Like where you're meeting someone should be the last place or should be the last thing that you're even thinking about. That's the last thing God is thinking about. That's why you can literally meet your spouse anywhere. But I will say that it's possible, but I agree with him. It's rare, but it's still possible.
It depends what work looks like for you too. You know?
I was just about to say.
Is it in the marketplace? Is it in ministry? You know, like because all of what we're saying that literally can come together. You can be in ministry, traveling, or whatever.
Yeah. And I think that's what all of this boils down to. Someone said in the chat, you know, it depends. I guess it depends on the field, but definitely not corporate America jobs. Yeah. And I don't think that goes for all of them. But I got one for y'all.
Oh Lord, let's go. Let's get it. Let's cut up.
And then I think we can go into Q&A after this.
Yeah, for sure.
Social media.
Yes.
What social media?
So who's shooting shots?
Everybody should be shooting shots.
I say yes, because one of my friends, she just got married and she met hers through social media. And this guy's huge. I mean, he reached out to her, which is the crazy thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's super well-known dude, all of that. And they connected through social media. And then that's how they married now.
Social media, yes. Apps, no. I
don't recommend apps.
I do. Look, I was on that app and I got trespassed and got my car keyed. It's a no.
Oh.
Not to say
you got your car key?
Yes, not to say that it can't work.
I just found out.
Not to say it can't work, but it's a no.
Hun, I'm sorry.
It's okay. And I may be super deep, but I feel like
that's terrible.
If you, I always ask people on the apps, did God send you? Did God tell you to go on the app? I feel like people who get on apps, I feel like that's a place of desperation. And I feel like people put on their best
face.
You know what I'm saying? And they're not being real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yo,
I agree.
No, listen, I'm gonna say yes to social media. And I'm gonna say yes to the apps.
I knew you would.
Look, listen, I got on the apps for a very, very short period of time. And it was like, if my experience is a tenth of what women experience, I see why women hate
What was
apps.
your experience on
goodness.
the app?
Horrible.
Oh.
And it was supposed to be like a Christian type, right?
Those worse.
No, you think they'd be better, but they're worse.
Listen, like Christians on social media are better than the Christians on the apps.
Yes.
Women that come and got me. I'm just
I don't know what it is.
This one person, I literally was like, you want to be friendly before you like think about a date. So we just talking. And so what is God saying to you about the woman, for you? And I was describing what God had told me, and this person didn't line up. So this person's tried to tell me that what I was thinking was wrong. And I'm going to say it like this. Nothing wrong with anybody at any size. I don't care nothing about your size. But this person was not taking care of themselves. And this person tried to tell me that she was my kingdom spouse. She came to me with God told me. She came to me and said she talked to her pastor and her leader said her. Listen, I was just like, oh no, delete. I repented.
Wow.
I repented because I was like, God, I had no problem. I had no business being in them streets. However,
some skates.
Listen, and again, I have no problem with anybody's size. That doesn't matter. But this person tried to tell me, because I was like, no, man, God said what this person would look like. And I know what this person is going to look like. And I didn't know fully what this person looked like until after I made that comment. And I was like, oh, well, then that's it. But I want to know, is this a red flag? Right? You just said social media. So are you saying good on social media? I want to make sure we're here.
Yeah.
So everybody good on social media? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just not the apps. We kind of.
Yeah, no, I have the same sentiment because I did both. I did the free app and the paid one, and I had the exact same experience on both.
So everybody's saying negative. Down. Okay, let me ask you this one: can you find your kingdom spouse matchmaking from either your parents or your pastors? Parents or pastors?
You can, but I have a story about that. So
I know. We're gonna get a Q&A. I promise. Okay. I just tried to ask. I
gotta tell you about that one really quick. So the previous leadership I was under at the church I was at, there was my bishop at the time. He knew another pastor, and he had a son. And they were trying to get me with. They thought, he'd be great or whatever. I was like, okay, like he looks great. He's a pastor's kid. He's going to be the pastor, of his dad's church. I was like, oh, great fit. And then I asked God, I was like, God, is this the man you want me to have? I had a dream that week. And he entered in the dream. The son introduced me to his wife, but I couldn't see her face. And I was like, well, he's not the one, obviously. Wow. But I feel like sometimes what do you call it? The judgment of the pastor or the parents can get blurred just because it's like they're thinking more so who's compatible with my daughter or my son, not who's going to be more suitable for my daughter or my son in their purpose and their calling. Oh, we're both of their parents, us and them. Oh, they're both pastors. They'd be great. They're compatible. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's almost like the first inclination. They'd be good together. You know what I mean? Like, okay, do their purposes align? So I feel like that's it's less likely.
I feel like it depends on what kind of relationship you have with your parents or your pastor. Because I feel like depending on how well they know you and how intimately they know you, that can sway who they think would be suitable for you.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if I were single today, like, I don't know if my parents would be able to match me.
Nah, I'm not going with the parents. We were just saying, like, we rather friends,
more likely.
Like real friends. Like, I'm the type of person, like, hey, bro, if you're not gonna treat her right, just don't even do it. Go play around. Just you play around with. You know, but your friends, your real true friends, they're gonna look out for you. They're gonna either say yes or, girl, man, like, they need a little work. How about pray? You know, let's just wait.
And I will also say that, like, he was smoking weed and drinking and all of that stuff, and I was just,
oh wow, after dancing,
so much for the godly man.
Shots fired. Pop, pop, pop.
Wow.
Didn't thought that was gonna come out.
Took a sharp.
Pew.
Pew. That's so funny. Yo, and she said that out of anger. I felt like she said, I gotta get this off. I just gotta get it out. All joke. But
this is a safe space.
Safe space. We like to cut up, and we almost we got about 20 more minutes to go.
Yeah.
I do want to say last, I promise. Get ready. If you have any questions for us, it doesn't have to. We would like for it to be on the topic of finding where to find your kingdom spouse. But if you got a question, put it down in the chat. Prepare to put it. I will give a red flag, and I'm 190,000,000% that Pastor Deb, and my wife will agree.
Can I say something real quick?
Please
before you say that? Just real quick before my husband shares that. Again, for everyone that's watching, this conversation was all in good fun, guys.
Entertainment.
Of course, we serve a mighty God who can do anything. So you can meet someone.
The crack house, man. Anyway,
listen.
Literally.
He's going to evangelize.
Listen. You can meet someone anywhere. This conversation is definitely not the end all be all for where you can meet someone. Yes. We really just wanted to have a good time and expand and give you some expand your thoughts and ideas around where you can meet someone.
Yes.
But of course it can happen anywhere.
Yeah. So we do have a question, but this is real quick. I'm 1,000,000% sure that all of us are gonna give a thumbs up that you agree with this. And this is a joke, but I'm being kind of serious with it. You're probably not going to find your kingdom spouse just because the prophet of a church said so. Let me make sure I give color commentary to where I know everybody's gonna agree. There's this movement somehow of people just throwing out willy-nilly prophetic words. This is your spouse. This is your spouse. This is your spouse. And if somebody got one of these so-called prophets got caught on camera, where he told a woman that her spouse was like in the room and she was married already. She was already married
to somebody else.
And he just, hey, God want me to tell you, you believe in God for a spouse. They in the room. You need to look around in the room. And she like, I'm already married. Yeah. Then I saw another video of the same thing where the woman, another guy pulled a woman up and said, this person is your spouse. And that guy was married. So I'm just want to put it out there. That could be a huge red flag. So I'm pretty confident. Would you agree that that's one that you want to be? Well, let me not say red flag. Be extremely cautious.
Yeah.
Right.
Steer clear.
And please stand clear of the sold $1,000 for your
House.
all right.
Get your spouse take a piece cloth
and wash yourself 7 times, and the Lord is going to give you a breakthrough. Please.
No.
Please.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's jump into one of the first questions that we have. I believe this was the first question when we opened it up for Q&A. What to do when you're constantly being approached by men that aren't of your faith and never approached by men of your faith? Mm-hmm. That's interesting because we had someone bring that up, or we had a question about that. So I'm going to throw it to whomever want to jump in. I think all of us kind of like, I think it's kind of,
I can kind of speak into that because that happened to me a lot. And I say that because I noticed that it's like the more you find yourself in Christ, the more you are hidden in Christ, the light that shines through you is going to attract everything, literally everything. And the men that are coming up to you, they don't know what that light is, but they just know they see something they like. They know they're attracted to the light in you. My personal experience with that was like there was a Catholic guy, they believe Christianity and Catholicism are the same thing. And he said things like, I like you. There's something like, I like you. They will always say there's something about you, or they will always say there's something different about you. They don't know what that light is in you, but they just know they're attracted to you. And sometimes you really have to ask, go back to what David said, who sent you? Because sometimes those are the main ones that are distractions. I'm telling you, sometimes they're the main ones that are distractions because they will come in the perfect package, but their faith is the only thing that will be off. The only thing that will be off. They got everything else, but the one thing they don't have is Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah. And let's be really, really clear about what she's saying. Because where you come from that, right, where you have some people who say Jesus Christ is cool, right? It's Jesus. And it's not that they don't believe in Jesus, is that there may be some practices that may rub against some doctrine stuff that may rub there. So, or they may be ready to leave. You know what I'm saying? They may see you like, you were leaving this fall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would say if you're getting approached by this a lot, something's there. It may be the location. It may be, I don't know. I mean, it may be it's something.
Well, I totally get what Pastor Deb is saying, especially about men that are not of the faith.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I have that experience too. But my where I'm curious is why are men of the faith not approaching? Because it's a 2-part question.
Yeah.
Why are they not approaching?
If I'm gonna be real, I think men. And Pastor David, help me out with this. I think because here's the thing, me and Pastor David for a street, we was with these young single guys or younger single guys, right? And I think this fear of rejection from a godly woman is realer than I think people think. Am I right, Pastor? It just, to me, on the conversation that we had. So I think kingdom men deal with a fear of rejection that the men in the world don't care. They're like, what's up? I mean, they have like it's a numbers game. You know what I mean? And I think it's something about the Christian men who there's some timidness there and some fear of rejection. Yeah. Pastor David, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I'll add to fear of rejection, and I'll just say what your process looks like for me personally, and I know this is a lot of men. I didn't think God was gonna send her, or I wasn't ready because of how my finances looked. That's a big thing. Like, people, or men per se, it's like, man, I gotta have this credit score, I gotta have this, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, when I approached her, I have no money. But God said, you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. And so as a man, as providers, as you know, all of these things, you think about that, you know, and I was that type of person. My mom would have that conversation with me. I'd be like, man, you know, I'm getting ready to do this. I'm getting ready to meet her or whatever, but my money looks like this. And I was like, if it was up to me, I'd put it off till I had this much in the bank, and I would have missed so much. So fear of rejection and what your process looks like. And I'll say this for men, like it doesn't matter. The person for you, it doesn't matter if you have $100. You got $100 in vision, and you know you're supposed to be with that person. That woman, as long as she hears God, she will say yes. Because I am not the same person that I was last year. Like,
come on. So
fear of rejection and just what your process looks like, I think, really keeping men of faith.
But Pastor David, if you ever give that advice again, instead of saying $100, can you at least say 10,000? Wow. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You said $100. The people I know, the ladies was like, brother, that ain't even STK money.
I'm not gonna say no. I'm not saying I had that.
No. I'm just being silly. I'm being silly. Real quick, we're gonna jump through these questions real quick. Do you believe God can show you your spouse in dreams before you meet them? I'm going to say yes.
I mean, God can do anything.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Typically, this is what we've heard, so I could be wrong. Or this is not the norm. This could be the exception, where God, in my experience, when I first got married, God showed me the silhouette, and it wasn't until I got closer to proposing that the next dream revealed the face. So sometimes God will show you characteristics of a person, not show the full person. Yes. Right? You hear people always say, like, man, I saw this person, we were standing at the altar, but I couldn't see their face. You know, they were this height, they were look like this and this and this. So that's my quick answer to that. What about you, sweetie?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, God can do anything. So absolutely.
Pastor David, anything on that one?
Simple, yes. I'm standing here. God did it. God did that. Showed me the brick house. Showed me her house before, you know. And of course, characteristics. And I believe like everyone's situation is different. Like God will show you, I believe, what you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God showed me her and all of these things because He knew that I would steward, not going up to her and say, "Hey, you're my wife." Some people, God can't trust them with that because they, you know. So yes, He can.
Yes, He can.
Yes. Pastor Ronnie is in the building from Vegas.
Oh,
thank you, Pastor Ronnie, for joining. Man, we got to get him on.
Yeah,
that's a real prophet right there, y'all.
Like, he's amazing.
Man, we appreciate it. We definitely got to get him back on. Thank you so much. Any more questions? Am I missing anything, sweetie? Navigate.
I don't know if you went.
Well, I'm going through. I'm just making sure. If I missed your question, please put it back in the chat. Let me go back up. This was this was a good live so far. Yeah. And since y'all here, hit that like button.
Oh wait, go down. I think here we go.
Does God tell women?
Does God tell women anything, or just the God?
I would say both. Yeah. Sometimes this does happen. I would say it's a little rare, but it does happen. Sometimes the woman will know before the man.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, the man will know before the woman, but God can't tell the woman for the man. And I completely agree with what David said, because sometimes God will tell the woman because how she's going to steward that. She's going to begin to pray. She's going to begin to intercede. She's going to begin to cover him. She's going to begin to come in alignment with what God has shown her. She's not going to be like, go up to him and be like, oh, God told you that you're my husband. Because guess what that man's going to do? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Because he didn't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, absolutely. God can tell both.
Yeah. Man, I'll say this. I learned this from Pastor Ronnie, who's here, and I know he'll co-sign when it comes to this, men, all of us choose. Everybody has a choice, but it's the man who does, the initiating. He's the one who chooses. So, because he was gonna say, it was up to Adam whether he said flesh of my bone. I mean, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Right? Eve then showed up, was like, "Ta-da! I'm here. Your wife." You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't like that. So there is a order and a process. I do believe that's why the Bible says, "He who finds, he who finds." Right? So, and now here's the thing. Now, women, you don't be sitting there talking about, the old saying is somebody was stuck out at the water, stranded out in water, and they asked the Lord to save them, and he kept sending boats. And dying. Boat. Now, listen, sometimes you got to put yourself out there if you want to put yourself out. You got to make yourself available to be seen, is what I'm saying. And if that means you have to say something. So let's get through some more questions here. I do believe what God tells women is, hey, you on somebody's radar. I do think women get that at least. So let's keep the questions going because we're almost out of here for time. What if you don't get approached at all from Christian men or etc.? This is hard because there's so many layers to that. Yeah. That's very layered. Go ahead, Pastor Deb.
Honestly, I kind of felt that way at one point. And like, I was like, Lord, you must have someone real special for me, because I was like, I know I'm not ugly. So I was like, because like, come on, individual teachers. But like, I was like, Lord, I know I'm not ugly. And I was like, I was like, okay, I'm serving at my church, Lord, I'm faithful to the house of God. Like, I love your house. I love to serve. I love you. Like, why are no men literally approaching me? And maybe when one or two would, I would get that feeling of no. And I'm just like, when will I get that yes? When will I get that yes? Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's just my experience. Because for me personally, I feel like God had someone very special for me. And usually when I hear stories like that, men never really approach me. And I see the testimony of when God finally brings their spouse, it's like some crazy, unique story that God completely put together. And it's like, okay, God, I see what you were doing all these years, Yeah,
that's good.
I want to say this, don't take it as a bad thing. God is protecting you.
Ooh, that's good.
Period.
That's good. That's good. That is good. That's good. We're going to run through. We got some more questions. We got a couple more minutes before we get out of here. Do you think women in their late 30s should have different red flags for a potential husband compared to women?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ladies?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason why or no, or just, but yeah.
I feel like this is another one that's layered, and again, it's very subjective to the individual. But I think the priorities and the things that I would have accepted in my 20s and younger are definitely not the same things that I would accept now approaching 40, especially as a mom. Like, I know some of our audience are single parents. So it's like the things that I would be looking for are very different than when I was younger. Like, not only can you be a good partner to me, but can you be a good father to my son? So I think there's a certain level of maturity, and that changes the way that you do things, and again, the things that you accept, the things that I feel like there's things that are almost expected when you're younger, that the expectation is that is supposed to evolve and you mature as you get older. That's no longer acceptable. Like in your late 30s. Yeah. So
I think same thing for men too, though.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing when it comes to age and you are
different level of life.
Yeah. Maturity and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think you really, answer that completely. For the sake of time, we're just going to breeze through as many of these questions. So the next one is good answer, babe. Do you think that God can show you your spouse, but that person rejects you? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Anybody want to throw out your thoughts on that? Because
free will. Free will.
Yeah. And I think it takes two, right? That's why I feel like there is somebody that God can ordain you or grace you to be with. And sometimes they just not in alignment with God. And even though God showed you, God will say, listen, there's somebody who you are suitable to be with. And it's not just one person, but they have to be on board. And this they lost straight up. Let's keep going with the questions here. Why does God tell some who their spouse is when it's not time yet? Why doesn't he wait until it's time? Oh, great question. This is a really good question because I'm thinking about doing a video on something similar to this. So I'm going to answer it as quick as possible because I was getting prophetic words a lot right before seeing her. When God shows you something when you feel like it's quote unquote out of time, it's a gift. It's a gift. And because you think the gift came early, no, the gift is to start preparing. It's to start preparing. So when I was getting prophetic words about her and I was told I need to learn how to eat at a fine dining, even though I felt like you already knew how, I started researching like, oh, okay, don't be picking at your teeth. Don't be having your elbows everywhere. Don't be belching and all that stuff. Listen, it's for preparation. Because how crazy would it be? God show you about this person, and then when it's time, you're not ready.
Wow,
you're not ready. So God shows you before to prepare you. Let's see here. Any more? Am I missing any? Let me slow down. God showed me. Okay. This has been a good live, just to let y'all know, because y'all still hit that like button. What does this one say? Did any of you guys feel like God forgot about you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm working on a video for right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. So many times because it's how we see God. We want God to just do it and it's done and it's good and we just start enjoying. No, you need to go through a process where are you willing to wait? Part of the process. And I think, God, because we say God forgot about us because it didn't happen in our time. All right, real quick, we over time. Let me go through and see about any more. Sweetie, do you see anything?
Dre.
Do y'all see any? No. Okay, I don't see any.
So it's a dang that was unanimous. Yes.
David, what's up, bro? It's Dre. Dre said you famous, bro.
No, Dre Campbell.
Who's that?
Just going back to that forgotten question, I think if you're human and you're a believer, you're gonna go through that season.
It's a whole cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being and forgotten may be a good thing. Maybe a good thing. It may be, if you feel like God forgot about you, it may be an opportunity for you to chase after him and want to grow closer to him.
Yes.
You said like it may. Sometimes I think when we feel a certain type of way, ask yourself what's going on. Situational awareness. I feel like God's not close. Okay, have I been chasing after him? Have I been seeking after him? Have I been in his presence? And if you find yourself that that's not the case, then we know what we need to do. But if you feel like, man, I've been in his presence. Sometimes when we feel like God is out on vacation, I heard someone say this. When the teacher is talking, you're not taking the test. But when the teacher stops talking, you're taking the test. So if you feel like God's forgotten about you, he's not talking to you, God is sitting back and watching you operate on the last season's lesson. I'm sharing something here. So if you feel like, man, I haven't heard God in a while, I'm trying to date, and I ain't heard nothing. And okay, what have you done with what I gave you? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not always a bad thing. It's an opportunity for us to like do some self-reflection and all that good stuff. So listen, guys, we have went 5 minutes over our time. tonight. Listen, this has been such a pleasure to have just to hang out with Pastor David. Like we would probably talk about this stuff off camera and probably go a little bit deeper, but this is really.
Belka had a question.
Belka, you had a quick question. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. We'll answer. But I just want to salute Pastor David and Pastor Deb as we prepare to answer this next question and get on up out of here, because I know my lovely wife needs to rest. We are fighting the flu together. I know the same thing for you guys, so we don't want to keep them up. Pastor David, we got to let these beautiful ladies do what they do best.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
I want to say thank y'all for allowing us to be on your platform. We appreciate you guys greatly. We honor y'all, and we know that this is just the beginning of what's to come.
Yeah,
ready.
Somebody said season 1, episode 1.
Right.
Yes, wow. I saw that back at the beginning.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go get this. Let's go get this kingdom.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Being able to, just to glean from you all as well. I'm sure there are so many things that we can learn from you guys as well, and share that on our platform. This is the kingdom. It's not just taking this. They said this, taking their information. No, it's kingdom information. Everyone needs to hear it.
Collaboration.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Say that today.
Yes. Yeah, we are not in competition. We are in concert.
Come on. We love it. So, Belka from the 305 said, how to navigate singleness when, I'm going to say it's dragging. It's been 7 years. Wow. Man, I'm not going to rush to answer this. Really? Right? I'm not going to rush to answer this. I want to turn it to the ladies first. How to navigate.
Yeah.
For 7 years. That can be, I feel like that, to piggyback off of what Alexis said earlier, that can be subjective. Because where are you in your life right now? Did you come out of a serious relationship 7 years ago? Are you divorced? Are you coming out of, what is your circumstance? Where are you in life? I was single my whole life. I waited 29 years. So what does that look like? What does singleness look like for you? Because it's not one shoe fits all. It's not, for you, 7 years may feel like it's dragging. For someone else, they need 7 years to maybe get over the trauma they just experienced.
Yeah.
For a previous relationship they were in. So it's where are you in your life right now? Examine.
Yeah.
What you, sweetie?
I feel the heaviness of the question.
Yes.
So, I Am Beauty on Wheels. Belka has been part of our community from the beginning, and so we know a little bit about her story. And I feel the weightiness of the question, and so it's hard for me to give a whole response. I think I echo Pastor Deb's same sentiments in terms of, I think you said it earlier, what is the goal of your singleness? What are you doing while you're in your singleness? But I also think, and we've talked about it a little bit too, even tonight, is the focus. Is it, I have been single 7 years, or the Lord's been working on me 7 years, or I've been in relationship with the Lord for 7 years? I really think it's our perspective on the time. Yeah. Pastor David said earlier, has the Lord been protecting me for 7 years? Has the Lord been hiding me for 7 years? I really think that a perspective shift can really change the weightiness of this of this thing. I know for me, I'll share. So my late husband, Mason's dad, passed away in 2019. I wasn't ready to date right after that. I actually took me about 2.5 years to the point where I was okay, I'm ready to date. And I didn't get married until the 5-year mark. So 5 years after my first husband passed, I got married. I could have looked at that and been like, man, I was single for 5 years. When the truth was, part of that time I wasn't ready. And then the time that I was ready, I had to date, and there were still some things that God was working in and out of me. So I share that with the intention that perhaps you can look at your time of singleness and try to see if you can identify what has God been doing throughout this time with you. Because I'll tell you, he hasn't left you.
Come on.
He hasn't abandoned you. He hasn't forgotten about you.
Yeah.
So what has he been doing? And I promise you, sis, I promise you, Belka, and to anyone else that feels that they're in the same position, like my season of singleness is dragging and it's been so long. The Lord doesn't leave you without some kind of clue, some kind of evidence, some kind of inkling. And if you take a close look at your life, you'll begin to see the evidence of what's been going on. But we have to be able and willing to shift our perspective, to ask God, what is it that you've been doing? Because I think you said it too, babe, like the perspective, like if you feel like God's forgotten about you, then that's an invitation to draw closer to him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I would jump in, Prima, to really, and to thank you for those who, I'm seeing you guys saying that you got to log off, or you logging off for tonight. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. We super appreciate you. For here with Lex and Love, we do this each and every Sunday. And I think, Pastor David and Pastor Deb are probably going to be doing a weekly live stream too. I'm just throwing it out there. But no, I want to say this because we do want to get some rest. Is Belka, first and foremost, like, you're one of the people in our community that, like, when we see you, we feel you. You are, when we don't see you or when we don't see you comment, we miss you. And it's crazy to miss somebody that you haven't met in person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'll say this to you, that when it's dragging, it can feel frustrating.
Yeah.
It can feel outright painful. It's hard to sit back and say, man, why is God? Well, it's hard to sit back and say, man, I feel like God is punishing me. And then we saw, I don't know if Pastor David and Pastor Deb saw her comment where she alluded to being in a 3-year relationship, DV, and then being in another 4-year relationship. So she, prior to this, the 7 years of singleness, she's been through something. And I want to tell you, maybe God is working that thing out for you, for testimony and for his glory. But more importantly, when God prepares you, as he has been and is doing, because we talked to you offline and we know a little about your story. I truly believe in my heart of heart, your 7 years is not a waste.
It's not.
I said this the other day to my wife. God does not waste time. God does not. Your 7 years will not be in vain. Listen, when God brings this thing together and do it for you, and it happens speedily, you're not going to remember them 7 years of drag. Listen, I'm talking about, the scripture talks about a swift thing that will happen. You hear me? Suddenly, by this time next year type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And when God wants to do it. So I want to encourage anybody tonight who's on this live stream, and let's keep it real. Waiting is sometimes frustrating. It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard, man. It's hard. Like I saw a couple comments over the weekend that was like, it's easy for y'all to say y'all got y'all person. And that's real. Like, yes, but we also got to keep them. So, I mean, choose your heart. Like, choose your heart to get them, and you're going to have to choose your heart again to keep them. So, It is what it is. But my point in this to say to everyone, like Pastor Ronnie is saying, it's going to be worth the wait, number one. And number two, when this thing starts to work, man, I hear this, it's going to happen fast.
Yes.
Some people, man, listen.
Real quick.
You gotta stir it up.
Just like as he was, I'm sorry, I just had to say it. Just like as he was talking, I saw this flower. I saw this flower that had just been withered, You know, it's been through the storms. It's been through it's like petals got knocked off of it. And it's been through so many seasons. I just see it. It's been frostbitten. It's been blown. It's been so many things. But I just saw just this beautiful daisy. It was a daisy. And I just saw it begin to open up, just bloom. And I just heard God say that this is your blooming season. So working on you for the past 7 years. And if you know anything about numbers, 7 years, 7 is the number of completion.
Come on.
So for the past 7 years, he's been trying to do a complete work in you so that you can bloom in this season. And like Lev said, this is going to be a season of complete restoration. Is going to restore the time that you felt like you lost as if it didn't happen. So
Amen. Amen. Amen.
In case y'all didn't know, both Pastor David and Pastor Deb are master prophets as well.
Come on.
So when we receive that.
Receive it.
Yes.
No, don't point at us because you
came on y'all's platform, so you know what I mean.
No, it's shared. It's shared. We stream it to both platforms, man. We just appreciate y'all coming on, man. Like, honestly, you guys are legit the first couple that we have collaborated with as far as anything outside of being Pastor Ronnie coming on and Buffy. You guys have been literally the first to come on, and we want to thank you. For those who are leaving, good night. See y'all, and we're getting ready to wrap up, but I just want to give you guys your flowers and say thank you for your time tonight. We know that we'll do this again, and I just want to just pray us out. Right, no matter after prayer request, when we got 80-some people in the room, and it'll turn to a prayer session. We want to get some sleep, so I'm just gonna pray over everybody that's watching, even on the replay. Shout out to the replay squad. Shout out to those on the replay. So again, if you haven't subscribed to both channels, please do so. If you haven't liked this, please do so. Please be looking out for more content from us. We thank you for tuning in. So dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for a time as this. Lord, we pray that you have been glorified in this conversation. Yes, we joke and, we tried to bring light to some things, but God, ultimately, wherever you choose to bring people together, let no man tear them apart. I pray for those who have heavy hearts dealing with their singleness. Father, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially when you've been through some things. So, Father, I pray for everyone here tonight who may feel like, man, it's almost like they want to give up sometimes. Lord, I pray that you give them strength, you give them courage, and you give them bravery to stick in there as they do the work, as they follow after you. Lord, you'll lead them in the way that they should go concerning love. We pray for even the married couples who showed up and supported God. We pray a blessing over them that even though they may be married, Lord, keep them married to each other. Yes. So, Father, I thank you for Pastor David and Pastor Deb. I thank you for my wife, Alexis. I thank you for every person who showed up tonight. Lord, keep us in your perfect will. Be the keeper of our souls today, God. We thank you until we meet again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. I think we're about to go ahead and shut it on down, and we will see y'all next week. All righty. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.